Hello, and thanks for joining us today. I'm honored to be presenting at Ignite this year. My name is David No. I'm Vice President of Products and Engineering for Metallic. I'm joined by Vamshidhar Kamaneni, who's a Principal Product Manager at Microsoft. And today we'll be talking about why Office 365 and endpoints need backup, especially in this day and age of ransomware and malware. Today, we'll be talking about the current state of backup recovery, especially in light of the new norm of remote work. We'll talk about why SaaS data protection is such a great fit for these kinds of environments. And then we'll touch on Office 365 and endpoint specifically for backup and recovery. So I think the most important thing to consider is that what we thought was a change in how everyone's working, that is, there is a shift to remote work, that is now considered to be a permanent thing. That is that CIOs are now looking at how we've been working for the last 6 months and saying, hey, a portion of our workforce will always be remote. And so that creates a rise of new challenges for CIOs today. The first one is the ability to deliver reliable and borderless productivity for employees that are working not just from home, but also from the office, and how everyone can interact under those circumstances. The new services that were deployed to support remote work are now considered critical infrastructure and have to be considered in terms of stability and resiliency. I have talked to many CIOs, and they all have told me that their cloud journeys have been accelerated from projects that are 2 to 3 years out. Now they're coming in the next 6 months. And then finally, understanding the changes in infrastructure and how they impact business continuity has really raised the focus of CIOs in this area. And this is something to consider, particularly with the rise of cyber attacks. Unfortunately, bad actors have only taken advantage of the crisis today. And we're seeing a really significant increase in cyber attacks, ransomware, and malware. And this is really exacerbated by the fact that the attack surface has greatly increased for them. That is, it's not just employees or data in a data center, but rather data that's now distributed across things like laptops, which are particularly vulnerable. So what does this mean for your data protection strategy? And there are really 3 main areas to consider. The first is data sprawl. That is, your most critical data is not necessarily safe in your data center, but distributed in cloud applications as well as laptops at home. Risks are increased, not just from accidental deletion or now hardware failure. A laptop is less reliable than a disk array in a data center, but we've also already talked about risk from malware and ransomware. And also, you have to consider that your data is your responsibility no matter where it lies, whether it's on-prem, data at the edge, or even in a SaaS service. You may have to consider backing up data you've never protected before. Now, why is SaaS such a good fit for these kinds of distributed data environments? Well, SaaS has a lot of great benefits that people have leveraged and really are quite applicable to this new norm. The first is that it's really easy to deploy. Right? There's no infrastructure management. There's no purchasing of hardware, software, or storage. You don't have to do a lot of deployment. So these things allow SaaS backup applications to be very flexible and adaptable to changing conditions and SaaS application data sources. It's also really easy to buy a SaaS data protection solution. There's no upfront commitment. You can pay as you go and really adapt how much you spend based on how much you need. In order to meet the needs of the changing times today, we've introduced Metallic Backup Recovery, which is a cloud-native SaaS enterprise backup solution with enterprise resiliency, enterprise security, and enterprise scale. It's backed by the technology of Commvault, which has been a market leader for the past 20 years, with more than 900 active patents today and more than an exabyte of data in the cloud being managed. There are 3 offers in Metallic. The first is Metallic Core Backup Recovery that protects server-side applications such as Microsoft SQL Server and Hyper-V and Windows file systems and Azure blobs and files. Then today we'll concentrate on the next 2, which are Endpoint Backup Recovery, protecting laptops and desktops, and Office 365 Backup Recovery, which covers not only email with Exchange, but also OneDrive and SharePoint and Teams, as well as Project. Metallic is built entirely on Microsoft Azure using native Azure services. Being natively built on Azure underscores our longtime partnership with Microsoft, and we've recently engaged in an extension of that relationship by agreeing to a long-term engineering and go-to-market partnership This partnership really is intended to make it as easy as possible for our joint customers to leverage not only the native power of Azure, but also the enterprise-grade data backup and recovery capabilities of Metallic. And here I'd like to introduce Vamshi Kameneni, who will be able to talk a little bit about our relationship with Microsoft Azure.
Thank you, David. Yeah, it's great to kind of talk about the partnership that the two companies have undertaken. And it's really built on a lot of core product truth. Metallic is built for scale out with Azure native services. And it's really, that's what helps Metallic scale out to a very, very large number of Office 365 accounts or endpoints or core servers. And it's built from the ground up for that scalability. Of course, as your data protection platform, the biggest point of scale is going to be where this data goes. For that, Metallic leverages Azure Blob Storage, which is Azure's object storage platform at scale. This is the platform that runs many of Microsoft's services. Office 365 data lives on this platform. All Azure service data lives on this platform as well. And Metallic is leveraging that very same platform with all of the durability, the geo-redundancy, the security, and the scale in terms of many, many exabytes of scale. So there's really no limit to the data size that your data estate protected by Metallic on Azure can grow to. We also offer this in all regions that Azure is offered in. So that's something as well that from a data compliance and residency perspective, you can leverage by virtue of being on the Metallic platform. The last aspect of our partnership is really making sure customers have a lot of different kinds of protection. We've started with these 3 workloads, as David mentioned, but we're really going to continue to expand that and be a great SaaS data protection platform together and provide best-in-class workload protection for on-premises, in-cloud workloads, SaaS workloads, endpoint workloads. So it's great to be part of this partnership. Thanks, David.
The Metallic Office 365 backup recovery solution is comprehensive in terms of the types of data that it protects. It's very important to ensure that not just your email is backed up, but also the data that's held in Teams and SharePoint and OneDrive in order to ensure total coverage of all your critical data. It allows you to be compliant and meet regulatory requirements for data protection wherever your data is, as well as rapid recovery by giving you an index to allow you to find exactly what you need when you need it, and protects against corruption and encryption from ransomware, and provides for data security with in-flight encryption as well as at rest and comprehensive access controls. Metallic endpoint backup recovery allows you to protect data quickly, easily, and silently that resides on your users' laptops. And being able to protect that data while making them still productive is highly important. It's very easy to deploy, it's very easy to manage, and gets all the data on the laptop no matter where it resides. You can do things like locate your laptops as well, mark them lost, do remote wipes. So it's not just security in terms of backup recovery, but it also allows you to mitigate data loss. In addition, we can detect if there is unusual activity on the laptop. That is, we analyze behavior of that laptop over time, and the anomaly detection will alert you if we see an unusual amount of disk activity, which may be an indicator that there's ransomware malware on the laptop. And now let's take a quick look at Metallic. Here at metallic.io, you can find out more about each of our offers, or you can log in and create a free trial so you can test it out for yourself. This is what we call the Metallic Hub. This is where you would perform your day-to-day operations. It presents everything to you that you need on a day-to-day basis and has guidance for configuration tasks. You also have access to support and documentation, and you can chat with someone right from the web page. Here you can see the 3 tabs, one for each offer, and we'll take a closer look at endpoints. Here you can download packages in order to be able to silently install them on your laptops. You can manage users, you can configure single sign-on with a SAML provider, and you can provide regional coverage for data residency requirements around the world. It's very simple to manage laptops in order to restore data. simply click on the laptop you want to restore data from. In here, you can see summary information about the last time the laptop was backed up, how much data was backed up. You can even see where we last saw it. We have geolocation built in. And here is where you can mark a laptop as lost, and you can have the data wiped the next time the laptop comes online. But restoring is as simple as clicking here, and we give you a nice and easy view into the contents of that laptop available for restore. You can easily search for files and folders. It's as simple as browsing and clicking here and selecting the files and folders you want to restore. You can download from the web page itself, or you can restore in place or even out of place. Now, we've made it very easy for you to use and buy Metallic right on the Azure Marketplace. This allows you to leverage your enterprise agreements, and Metallic will show up as a line item on your bill from Microsoft, just like any other service that you use. If you have any sort of monetary commitment to Microsoft for Azure, this also counts against that and will draw down from there. We love hearing from our customers, and it's great to see the kinds of things that they're doing with Metallic, why they purchased Metallic, as well as the benefits that Metallic has brought to them. We're seeing a reduction in how much effort it takes to manage their backups. We're seeing improved data protection and data access for them. And really, we're seeing them protect the workloads that we've talked about today, right? Endpoints being remote has been a major driver. We've seen Office 365 adoption driving Metallic. Also, the requirement to modernize their data protection and leverage cloud easily has also been a top draw for Metallic. And finally, having an environment that is secure and provides an air gap from their environment to protect against malware is also very interesting. Commvault's been a leader in the enterprise data protection space for more than 20 years and has won countless awards during that time. And I'm proud to say that Metallic is also an award winner, having been named the gold winner for the 2020 Stevie International Business Awards in the Cloud Storage and Backup Solution category. Metallic brings you enterprise-grade data protection as a native SaaS-based solution without compromise. Try Metallic for yourself. Check us out at metallic.io or microsoft.com/Metallic and sign up for a free trial. Thanks very much for joining us today.